Christchurch Tramping Club organized a river crossing course, which is very helpful and fun. We drove to Waimakariri River and started the course. The first part of course is introduction and discussion.
The four instructors. So what we're going to end up is 4 teams of 5, and as those teams of 5 plus an instructor, you'll be doing the river crossing in those groups of 5. As you get more competent, we'll drop it down to groups of 3, groups of 2, and in fact, if you want to, you may end up doing crossing by yourself. It's quite amazing how people progress once they get the skills. So my name's Alan. I've run this course quite a few times. I've been with the club for many years, and I have on 3 occasions come out on a Monday when I should have come out on a Sunday because the river has been swollen and we haven't got out. On one occasion we were stuck behind a swollen river and we could see the highway and cars going by on the Sunday night.
I'm Jeff. I've been with the club for 3 years now? 4? Something. I did the river crossing course a few years back now, and done a fair bit of tramping with the club, although I haven't been as active this year, so yeah, that's me.
I'm Zach. I probably did this course with Alan 5 or 6 years ago. This is my first time leading it though, but on those long summer trips a lot of us get up to, these skills are really useful. So there's one summer, about 2 years ago, I was down near Gillespie Pass on the Wilkin, just me and another guy, James, in the club. And there was one morning we had to cross the Wilkin, and we tried one spot. About halfway through, we were linked up. I started to float, so we just backed off and we scouted further down. Again, same sort of thing, and then we scouted further down. By the time we found a good crossing spot, we had gone about 1.5 kilometers down, so it was inconvenient, but it was a safe thing to do. It took about 1.5 hours, but we found a good safe crossing spot and made our way across. So it's just about, finding the right spot sometime and knowing when or when not to cross. So I didn't have to wait out quite as long, but using those skills to assess where it's right to cross the river really came in handy, and I got it from this course. So cool.
My name's Chris. I joined the club in 1932, which is the year before Alan. We were both in the junior division. I've been in the club since 2013. Prior to that I did quite a lot down in Southland. I hate river crossings. I despise them. I'll do anything I have to avoid doing them for the following reasons. I fell off a swing bridge into a swollen river and gone downstream and had to come back and do it again. And I have been like Alan on the other side of the river from my car and thought, yeah, why not? I think I'll manage, and I didn't. Okay, so I don't like river crossings. They're deadly dangerous things. In tramping, quite often what people get worried about is the mountains and the rocks and that. My golden rule, which has got me through so far, is every mountain wants to hurt you, but every river wants to kill you. And so just remember that, and it doesn't take very much. My wife's friend drowned in crossing the Reese River, not even the main river, but just a little tributary. It was about this deep. Climbed up the bank, slipped, fell over, hit her head, and that was the end of her. So we'll be doing none of that today. And at the end of the day, I expect to see probably all of you on the other side of the riverbank at some stage.
Pictures were handed over for discussion.
When you're looking at these rivers, so number 1, would people cross?
No.
Why not?
Because you can't see what's underneath the surface at all.
Yep, so those are all valid reasons. What about number 2?
It looks more like a waterfall. It's more like a waterfall.
How long are you going to need to wait?
As long as it takes.
Yeah. It could be, you could be stuck there for a few days. You could be, it could only be half an hour in some cases. Our rivers can rise and fall quite rapidly. So what you said about marking the river is a really good point.
Then we took Chris as a model and discussed which gear should be removed before river crossing.
So can we have some pointers about like what it is about that he's got either on him, on his back, or on him himself that you think isn't ideal? So he is wearing Crocs? Why might Crocs not be ideal?
These are ideal, they're self-folding.
So not great traction, but also they came off. So they don't stay on well and there's no traction. Cool. They are self-failing though. What else?
The loose gear attached to his back.
Lots of loose gear, random carabiners, a tent you could lose, random boots on the back, this thing. Might actually hit you or something when you're crossing the river.
Well, I'm thinking if he goes into the river and up to his waist, then those boots will start to drag him sideways with the waterfall.
So things that could create drag, right? You know that. What else?
And long trousers.
Not around your wrist.
Oh, don't let go of the stick. The stick is actually useful.
You not use it to like kind of not as much in the front.
Well, if we're linking up, he needs some more hands available than one, maybe.
You're going to hold the stick.
He also had a water bottle in the other hand. You might want to carry things, but really, you got to put it all inside your pack.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Long pants?
Long pants?
Yeah, long pants.
You want me to take the pants off?
I'm sure he's really hot in the sun right now, too. He's probably not enjoying it. But yeah, it would also create some drag as well. So not only like the things on his pack, but the pants would create drag, the gaiters as well, yeah? So, no, the pack's definitely not secure.
So before you cross the river, you would always remove your gaiters and you would change pants into pants. That will take a lot of time.
Yeah, you might want to plan your day around it though. Like, you know, first thing in the morning, if you got a river crossing, do you want to put pants on first for all that stuff?
So I once taught some Japanese girls how to do river crossings, which I bury a hut if they were going to cross the Wilton the next day. And we did it in the hut and I explained to them how to link up and said, no, like that. And then I said, oh, there's one more thing to do. I don't know you, I'll never see you again, but whatever you do, when you get to the river tomorrow, I want you to take your pants off. They wear trick pants off. Okay, I said, because you've got a choice when you get to a big deep river with lots of flow, or is that you can either take your pants off or the river will take your pants off. But one way or another, quite often you'll cross the river, you'll get across the other side and you won't have your pants off.
What about leggings? So if you have like a...
No.
Because they are not...
So longs are tight, yeah, okay, that's fine. But anything that's loose, like weather gear, trick pants, no, I wouldn't go in the water. You just take them.
Then Alan gave an introduction about who should be the team leader and how to decide the position of people in the team when crossing the river.
Three teams. Who's the next strongest? Possibly Jonathan.
Michael? Me?
Michael. Okay, so Michael.
I'll take it.
Okay, so if you just come here, so we'll just show you the arrangement. So you just stay there. So I'm just going to build one team. So just stay there. Yep. So that's it. Team,
John.
Team John. So we need someone of a mild size next. The water flow is this way. So the water flow is this way. So what we're going to arrange, the water flows that way. So we're going to arrange the teams based on those four gentlemen. The second largest person, their job, is to fight against the current. Your job is to control the group. So you're monitoring how much he's struggling, and you two are talking, and the rest of the group are very much protected on the downstream side. The people on the three people down here, if they stay in a row, you're hugely protected by these two. So top person's fighting the current, communicating with the leader. The leader is controlling what the group is doing. He's talking to the group, you're talking to everyone, giving encouragement. So when we arrange our teams based on these four by the water, based on the four leaders, the four top people will build teams so that there's a biggest person, a bigger person to be in the top, and then the rest can be in the smaller people downriver.
Here's the person with the broadest beam upstream, because that's like walking in the shelter of a tree. Okay, so you want somebody making a really good dam upstream, and you want to get really, really close, like a big barnacle. Okay, particularly if you're little, you're short, and you don't weigh much. Okay, so I'm looking at all you guys. Not looking at him, but that's because what will happen is that the top person and this with the team leader will do most of the work for you, as long as you keep right up against them and let them break all the water.
Yeah, and you stay in a row. So there's a huge difference to me being here in terms of the pressure against my legs compared with here. So you very much want to be in a row with the water. In other words, hiding behind these guys. So before we get out on the water, the other crucial thing, so you've learned so far cross or not to cross, you've made the decision to cross. The other crucial thing that you will learn in the water is instead of going straight across, you actually go at an angle. So you go with the flow. So the turn, go with the flow, go with the flow, go with the flow. There's a huge difference in water pressure going across directly compared with going with the flow. It reduces the water pressure tremendously by going with the flow. So the more water pressure you talk about to the leader will be going, go with the flow, go with the flow. So the more pressure, the more you go with the flow. So you'll find that today in your groups, we will say to people, go straight across. And the top people, in fact the whole group, will notice a huge difference in the water pressure going straight across wrongly compared with going with the flow. Anything that you would feel sad if you lost it in the river, don't take it. So
before we got into the river, we weighed our pack because we needed at least 12 kg in our pack. If anyone's pack has less than 12 kg, we got some water from Chris and put the water into the pack.
Carry on load. Yeah.
We had additional introduction and discussion about what is dangerous in the river. The coaches showed us how to connect as a team. Then we were divided into 4 teams of 5, with the strongest person in the team as the team leader.
A group of how many?
And the second biggest person in the team should be at the position of upstream.
let's see how challenging this is, and before we send the teams in. So we're going to go across, watch our technique, and we'll see how tough it is. If it's too tough to begin with, we'll go somewhere more gentle for the initial ones.
The coaches were testing the water before us.
Wow, it's too deep. It's doable. Oh my god. Oh.
The chopper's coming to be like way out. Oh, the sailing had to come down.
And we'll progressively go this way, it'll get harder and harder. So yeah, you want to go with the flow, end up somewhere there. When you believe it's safe, disengage and then reorientate so that you've got the correct people at the top.
Getting slowly
After getting into the water, we had a discussion about how we feel, how we did, and made an improvement next time.
I think you guys went straight, and so I was
push on the side was I was really feeling like if I go sideways, I might fall over and pull everybody with me.
So that's going to get serious.
So what are they doing wrong?
They're perpendicular to the current.
They're not straight, so that's terrible. So they all got pressure.
Yeah.
So
After becoming confident as a team of 5, we started crossing the river as a team of 3 and as a team of a pair and solo. Then Alan taught us how to save ourselves if we slip in the river.
engage, hit on the floor, guide with one arm, obviously keep one arm and arm as a pack. Stand up, use your hand, drag your pack to the side.
Alan showed us how to do it in the river.
So you can.
Want a cup of tea?
Two coaches were downstream in case any of us were out of control. Then we started practicing. We also practiced how to save ourselves as a team if we slept together.
Yeah.
If we had enough people, we can make a bridge.
Oh yeah. Of course we can.
Chris also explained why it's not a good idea to cross the river with a rope.
Say 3 or 4 crucial points that you've learned today. If you remember nothing else, what are 3 or 4 main points you learned today?
Go with the flow.
That is absolutely one of the things that you learned today.
Do you need to cross?
Exactly. Do you need to cross? Do you have the option not to cross? Because it is a decision. It is one of the options you have. And if you've got a tent or a fly, that option not to cross is a hell of a lot easier than, oh my God, it's pissing down with rain, I'm going to have to sit in my raincoat all night. And then you're going to be much more inclined to push it. If you've got a tent or some sort of shelter, it's a much easier decision. Okay.
In doubt, stay up.
Yep. Other thing is, if you're on a club trip, you've done the course, you're small, female or big, whatever, and you're concerned that you shouldn't be crossing. If the leader's going, yeah, we can do it, it's brown and it's really going hard, you have every right to introduce the subject of, hey, is this a good idea? Maybe we should talk about it, maybe we should put a marker in, see if it's going down, maybe we can try somewhere else. Because if you verbalise that you're concerned, there's almost certainly someone else in the party who is also concerned, who is too meek and mild to speak up. But if you say, hey look, let's really think about this, someone and admit you're worried, especially if you're one of the bigger guys, because the party will be looking to you for confidence. so you might think this is really easy, but the 50-kilo woman will be going, oh my God. So it's up to you big guys to really think, okay, it looks okay to me, but what's it like for the group? And the options are look for a better place, wait, have a discussion. And if you have a discussion and you go, yes, it's crossable, that's fine. But you've had the discussion. You haven't just gone in. And also, the big guys,
You can help them, eh?
the big guys have got to consider helping the smaller people, because you might be able to go by yourself, but someone much smaller would be terrified to go by yourself. So even out the groups. If there's two teams, even out the groups. So that decision will raise the subject, I'm concerned, completely valid to introduce that that subject. Instructors, other comments?
Practice. The amount of times I have linked up in ankle deep water, because there's been people in the group who have never linked up to cross a river, like just so as they know how to do it, or you keep it fresh. Like it doesn't, you don't need to link up to practice it, or you don't need to link up to practice it.
So, as I said earlier, I've had 2 goes at drowning myself. I'm a slow learner, so it wasn't until after the second time that I went out and bought a cheap hammock, and I never ever went again that had river crossings where I didn't take my little hammock or my tent fly. So I never ever got to be standing on the side of the river looking at the car going, yeah, no, what shit, it's wet here, I'll go across. Okay? And I've a couple of times spent a night in a hammock underneath the tent fly since the second time. And that was
Club overnight trips, typically you're taking tents, so that gives you options.
Briefly at some point that how this river is broken up into several braids, you might have to cross one to an island and then maybe walk off the island and scout it. So it's a bit of problem solving sometime and planning your journey across the whole river. And sometimes you can maybe just see to the next island or two and you're constantly reevaluating where to go. So just keep that in mind, plotting the whole journey.
So any questions?
I just have one question. Sort of personal choice, obviously. I let my partner go first because I want to see how deep it is.
How many partners have you gone through?
I'm not doing it. And then he has to come back. So I prefer this rather than linking up the two of us going together. But I prefer him to go first, come back, and then we leave.
What do the group think of this idea? What are the downsides to this?
You're going to look, I just say, you go first. I won't go.
The downside with that technique is that if you do lose your partner, you're now going to have to do solo river crossings. The plus side of it is if you've got them well insured, it's actually quite a profitable trip.
And then he also has the PLD, which is also bad.
Oh yeah, double jeopardy. If you think, my general rule is, because I don't like river crossings anyway, my general rule is that if you're looking at a river crossing and you're thinking, oh, can I do that or can I, will someone please go and try for me? That is like a warning sign to not cross, okay? Because the thing is that if you lose one person, whatever you got, that's part of your resource gone, okay, whether your partner or not. As you've seen out there in the river today, there's quite a big difference between a group of 5, a group of 3 and a group of 1 as to how far down the river you go. So if it looks, if you think, oh, should we send a call for volunteers to test the river, okay, so that should tell everybody else in the group, warning, 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 this is, we need to seriously be thinking about this. But sending one person, if it's really rough, sending one person out is actually probably the worst thing you could possibly do.
The other thing is he might get across and not be able to come back. And that's a real issue, and he'll be compelled to come back, even though he's going, holy shit, that last bit was really hard. That last bit which I got across, I've actually got to do that first. So I don't think it's a good idea.
Just sleep on the opposite side then.
Yeah, what if you can't throw the bits of
So there's a loosely bar.
I mean, part of it is also planning your crossing. Like if you think it might be a really difficult crossing, what's your escape plan? If you get part way out and you're like, no, actually it's too swift, or all of a sudden now I can see it's too deep, how are you going to get back?
I think your partner would be stronger with you, the two of you together, than him going across by yourself. Because there's two of you together, you know, you'd actually be a stronger group as two than one.
And you only need to carry one tent.
But would your relationship be